I'm going to start this meeting. I know there's a few people waiting to log in. I think we only have 21 people out of like 40 some odd people that were registered. Unfortunately, there seems to be some issue with regards to the confirmation emails and people getting the right link to log in. So I'm not sure what's happening there. The process has changed because starting this seminar, we had asked people to join Judo Ontario to participate in these clinics. So that's the big change from the two previous times. I know that a couple of people had issues either joining Judo Ontario or renewing their Judo Ontario membership or getting confirmation. Mohammed got his late. I saw his name this afternoon and I clicked his name. So anyway, I'm sorry. I apologize if, well, not to you guys because you guys have all made it, but if I apologize to other people that haven't been able to do it. I'm just sorry. I'm just trying to figure out how to use this thing. Optimize, click for share. Okay. So welcome to today's clinic, session 3. We'll be covering the duration of the contest and osaikomi and Neroza situations. The last time I think we were supposed to include start of contest, but when I was preparing for this session, realized that some of the material was going to go on too long, and Mohammed had covered the basically covered the start of a contest in his last in the last seminar. The agenda today are match times, and we'll be covering the different age categories, osaikomi, and end of match scenarios. And we'll also be covering some Neroza situations. We're going to start off with a little bit of a video. If I can find it. There it is. All right. So not, sorry guys, there's a couple of people waiting. Yeah, sorry, I gotta figure out how to use this. Participants. All right, sorry about that. So you can see from the Neroza, it was maybe not as dynamic as Tachiwaza is, but there's some really good turnovers. A lot of the stuff continued outside. The referee allowed the match to continue outside. All right, so just kind of beware of things that can happen outside. Okay, Article 6 in the sports rules for the rules of judo covers duration of the contest. So for here, I've written international standards. These are IJF times that must be followed for international rules. So 4 minutes real contest time. This does not include golden score, as you say below, but it does cover senior men, women team, U21, and U18, all men, women, and team events. And again, it does not include golden score, unlimited golden score. These times are generally followed by the national and provincial associations. Sorry. For national and provincial levels, for U16, men, women, and team, we follow the 3-minute contest time, real contest time. It does not include unlimited golden score. U14 is also 3 minutes, but there's no golden score. Hantai is required in case of a tie at the end of the time. And Hantai basically is not just the number of attacks, it's the best attack. And the best attack is one side or the other nearly scoring, but not scoring well enough to for an evaluation. Sorry. And if you notice on the left side, I've written duration of contest. I've taken away the Article 6 because IGF doesn't cover these times. They're only responsible for U16 and above. In Ontario, for U12, men, women, and team, it's 2 minutes of real contest time. And for U10, it's 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes of real contest time. We typically take 2 minutes for U10. But if a tournament wants to put 1.5 minutes, they're allowed to do it. Again, it's Hantai in case of a tie. There's no golden score. And again, it's best attack. For veterans, The regulations are covered under the SOR, the IJF SOR, Appendix 6A 1.6, duration of contest. It's 3 minutes of real contest time for men, women, and team divisions 1 to 6. Does not include unlimited golden score. So for those of you who aren't aware of the divisions, it's divided by age. So division 1 is 30 to 34. Division 2 is 35 to 40, 39, et cetera, et cetera. It goes on and on and on. For divisions 7 to 11, it's 2 minutes of real contest time, or 2.5 minutes of real contest time per IJF. That does not include a 1 minute maximum for golden score. If the score remains tied at the end of golden score, Hantai must be used to determine the best attack. In Ontario, there are some tournaments that use fair play for U10 and U12. There's no stop time, except there are exceptions with it. Excuse me. Based on if the belt comes undone or if there's an injury on the mat or things like that. So you can't stop the time, but typically it's run time. At the end, there's no golden score, so it's Hantai. In other jurisdictions, they do use fair play, but there's no decision at the end. So you score the tournament the same way, or the contest the same way, but at the end, you don't give a decision one way or the other. So why is it important to understand the duration of the contest? Can anybody tell me? Anybody want to take a guess? No? Really? Come on, you're all referees. All right. So if you're not aware of what the time limits are, the contest can either run over or under time. So what does that mean? For example, if you're a U16 and you have it set for 4 minutes, that's obviously going to take, you're running an extra minute. If you extend past that 3 minutes and something happens after that 3 minutes, you get into issues. Same thing other way around, right? So if you're a U18 and you have U16 time limits set up, it kind of takes away from the fight, and you're not sure exactly what can happen there, and then the people's strategy kind of goes out the window. For golden score, why does the duration of times matter? Because whether it's allowed or not allowed, right? U14 doesn't allow golden score. U18 does, U16 does. Also, whether it's unlimited or limited golden score. So you need to understand or know or be aware of the durations of the contests and for which categories they are. Typically, we, if you have the, I don't know if you can see it, our matrix, which we'll be going over in another series, dictates the time limits on what we have. Just not part of the duration of the contest, but just to make sure everybody knows, rest time between contests, in IJF and for the nationals, it's 10 minutes between contests. It's from when they last finished their last contest to the start of the next contest. So it's not, if they finish in 4 minutes and 50 seconds, it doesn't run to 5 minutes and then another 10 minutes from there. It's it runs from the 4 minutes and 50 seconds, 10 minutes. In Ontario, we use twice the contest time from the last contest within the same division. If a contestant is fighting in another division and just comes off of that mat, he doesn't get a rest if he comes on for another division. Any questions? Osaikomi time. Ippon, 20 seconds. That one's pretty easy. There should be no questions in that one, right? Wazari is 10 seconds or more, but less than 20 seconds. And then for Wazari Awasete, Ippon, if Tori has, sorry, you guys are covered underneath. If Tori has a Wazari, then it's 10 seconds. Article 8 covers techniques coinciding with the time signal. Any immediate result of a technique starting simultaneously with the time signal shall be valid. If the referee, judge, or the supervisors, match chief, or commission decide that the technique was not immediately effective, the referee shall announce soramade without any scoring. The rules that we have for judo are what's the word I'm working for? Sorry. They're written down, but you have to be able to, it's judgmental. So if the technique starts at the time of the bell, if the throw isn't going to be immediately effective, if there's no kuzushi, or if there's no, if you see the uke's toes trying to grip the mat and not be thrown, that's what we mean by effective. If the tori goes in to throw and just kind of drops to his knees, then the throw wasn't effective at all. Any technique applied after the time signal to indicate the expiry of the time of the contest shall not be valid, even if the referee has not called soramade. So the bell or the signal, the time signal, is the mitigating factor with regards to whether a technique is valid or not. So even if the throw was effective and it would have been a nice ippon, if they started the throw after the signal, it does not count. Same thing with osaikomi. When osaikomi is announced simultaneously with the time signal indicating the expiry of the time of the contest, or when the remaining time is insufficient to allow the completion of the osaikomi, the time allotted for it shall be extended until ippon or the equivalent is announced, or the referee announces soramade. So in other words, if osaikomi is called with 10 seconds, say 10 seconds left in the contest time, the osaikomi is allowed to continue past the 10 seconds until either toketa or ippon. If the osaikomi lasts for 10 seconds and then it's toketa after the time is expired, then that's wazari. But if it's less than less than 20 seconds, if it's 20 seconds, then of course it's ippon. During that time, the uke can counterattack by applying either shimewaza or kansetsuwaza. If in case of maita, submission or incapacitation of the tori, the person doing the osaikomi, the uke shall win by the contest by ippon. All right. So in other words, if I'm being held down by tori and I happen to be able to do a Shimewaza on him and knock him out, or he taps out before the end of the contest, then I win the ippon. Toketa shall end the contest, of course. So that's the first part with regards to contest durations, osaikomi times, and things like that. Are there any questions on that? Okay, so now that was the boring part. Now it's a little bit more interesting. We're going to cover some Neroza situations. I think that's a little bit more interesting. So, okay, somebody has to answer this. There are 4 criteria for holding down osaiko in order for you to call osaikomi. Can somebody name 1, 2, 3, or 4 of them? Have to take yourself off mute.
Yeah, I have to hide here.
Hi.
Have uke on the back.
Uke on the back is 1.
Okay. Anybody else? Somebody is saying show control.
Kind of, sort of, yes. And there's 3 more.
Completely on their back?
Not completely on their back.
Or out of their guard?
Not exactly, but close. What kind of hold is valid? What position must the tori be in order for it to be called osaikomi?
One of a regular hold down, kesa or yura, one of those positions.
Correct. Okay, somebody else also said something about guard. That was kind of half right.
Tori must exhibit control.
Control of what?
Control of, good question. Control of uki's upper chest and, yeah, shoulder area, upper chest and shoulder area.
Okay. So we've kind of covered almost all 4 of them. So the first one is the tori must be in a kesa, shiro, shiho, or ura position. So like kesa gatame, we'll go about this in a second. Sorry. The tori must have uke's 1 or both shoulders touching the mat, right? So it doesn't have to be completely back on the mat, just 1 or both shoulders on the mat. The uke must not, the tori must not have their leg or legs trapped by the uke. And the tori must control uke's core. So Graham, the last comment was correct. They must have the upper body, uke's upper body controlled. Those are the 4 criteria for us to call osaikomi. I got a message from Arja saying there were some answers. Oh, some answers in chat. I don't have a control the chat right now. I don't know why. Oh, here, chat. The map. Oh, okay, sorry, I didn't see the chat. All right, so valid osaikomi gatame immobilization types. So gatame just kind of means immobilization. It doesn't mean hold down, right? So osaikomi actually means the hold down part. So when we're talking about osaikomi, we're talking about kesa, kesa gatame, kata gatame, yoko shiho gatame, kami shiho gatame, tata shiho gatame, sankaku gatame, and ura gatame, and their variations. Those are the valid types of hold. They don't have to be demonstration type of gatame or osaikomi, excuse me, waza. Right, as long as they're kind of in that, they can be any kind of modification, any style. It doesn't have to be perfect in kasagatame or katagatame or whatever. They don't have to be perfect situation or perfect positions. Okay, so we're going to look at a couple of videos if I can figure out how to get out of this. So we're going to look at some osaikomi. We're going to discuss osaikomi or not, leg stretching, and tachiwaza scenarios. So let me see if I can get out of this. Can everybody see my screen?
Yes,
Okay.
I can.
Okay, osaikomi or not.
It shows the presentation, Jerry, not a video.
I'm sorry?
The presentation is up, not a video.
Oh, no video. Okay. No video yet. I haven't started playing video yet.
No video yet.
Okay. Can you see the video?
Nope.
Oh, okay, hang on. Can you see it now?
Yes.
All right. Okay, so this video is a great video because if we look at it again, they have control. She has not called osaikomi yet. Okay, the white traps the leg, so there's no osaikomi. She calls tokata. Now she calls osaikomi again. Okay, so this is a good example of having the leg trapped and so not having control of the uke. Okay, so that was kind of an easy one.
Having tea, do you want it?
I'm sorry, what? There a question? Okay, is this osaikomi or not?
I'm going to say no. I can't see the front of the shoulders, though.
Okay, so let me give you a different view.
Yeah,
Okay, so I'm gonna send out a poll. Okay, somebody's logged in as a yeah, somebody else is logged in. I can't do a poll. Okay. I had this all set up to work as with a poll set of the question. Osaikomi or not? How many
yes,
how many think yes? Are there any no's?
No,
No, there's no no's, or no, that's not Osaikomi.
not as Osaikomi.
Oops, sorry, that's 76. Okay, so the response here is what are the four criteria here? So osaikomi is called here. What are the four criteria for osaikomi? Legs are not trapped. She's in kind of a kesa position,
yeah,
right? There's one shoulder down,
yeah,
but blue has no control over the body, over white's body. Yes, white cannot move, but blue has no control over white's body. So really you can't call this osaikomi. Does everybody understand or see it?
okay,
Jerry,
Yes,
the main reason that in this 76, it cannot be osaikomi also, a body of a tori cannot locate underneath of the body of a uke and be called osaikomi. Osaikomi
Yes.
can be called when body of the tori is in control of the body of a uke. And when you're underneath of a body, you're not in control. That's the definition of here.
correct. So the blue again is not on top of white. There's no control of white's body. These are old videos, so don't mind what the referee is calling. All right. Oops. 70.
Jerry, can you play the video a few more seconds? Or is that it?
Yeah, that was pretty much it.
Okay. I was gonna say, maybe she got control. Better control.
No, it was when the referee called osaikomi.
Now, if I may add, the interesting thing on that example, if you can go back to 76,
Yeah.
and whatever frame you can hold, it doesn't really matter.
Well, tell me when to stop.
Yeah, keep rolling it. The action starts inside the mat, and the referee's position and his patient on allowing tori to continue while outside, it's exemplary here. What we need to recognize here as experienced referees, that the action for osaikomi was started, and Neroza started inside. So when they go outside, you allow the action to continue, but the action cannot start outside of the contest area. So that's another very valid point here, that referee is allowing the action continue, although they're both went out completely outside.
Okay. 77. Osaikomi or not? The referee is signaling osaikomi here. All right, let's see if I can get a better, I think there's a different view. Sorry. Okay, again, osaikomi or not.
It was,
Yes.
I'm gonna say no. I don't see the back facing the mat at all.
Okay. So referee calls osaikomi here. So here,
I
see-
think that uke is on the front of the shoulder, not the back of the shoulder. And I would not have called osaikomi yet.
Yeah,
blue cannot move. That, I mean, that's for
Yeah,
sure.
but That's
right?
not necessarily the whole
White is not
criteria.
on top of the core. He has no
No.
control of blue's body and lying on the mat, right? You really can't tell from this video whether blue has one shoulder down or not. It's very difficult to tell. White's body just gets in the way. But again, because there's no control on the upper core of the body, it's very difficult to say osaikomi at this time. Even if blue was on their back, if white is in this position lying on the mat or on the side, on their side, you cannot call osaikomi. There's just no control over the top part of the body. Here's my pen. Lost my pen. Does everybody agree? Any comments?
Yeah, I would not have called osaikomi from what I can see here, but again, that's, I'm not in the position where that referee is, so I can't tell.
Jerry, one of the after seminar, after this World Championships, the seminar in Doha, this was discussed, and was a new ruling occur for Sankaku Gatame that this Tori has a complete control for the technique on the upper body of the uke. There's no problem there. The problem here is the body of the Tori needs to be on top at some point on the top of a uke before you call the osaikomi. So for example, if uke was more on her back and also Tori was more on top of a uke, and we'll call osaikomi and we'll end it up to this position, the osaikomi could continue. But you cannot, for Sankaku Gatame, you cannot call when uke is on her side. Uke hasn't turned yet, and Tori is not in a control and on top of the uke body. Plus, the big reason also is that the osaikomi is called against one of our girls. So that's completely a toketa right there.
Yeah, there's no bias in judo, eh? All right. 77. That's 78. Oops, sorry. So we'll see it from another view. So again, here, what we were saying before is look at the Tori's body versus where they should be for Sankaku, right? Their body is on their side. There's no control of the upper body. They're not on top of the body, even though they have the uke can't really move anywhere, right?
Again, my vote is no hold down, no usakomi.
There's no recycling here.
Yeah, no Osakomi.
Any questions? Any counterpoint? Any argument? Don't be afraid if your opinion is kind of different. So
I just have a question. How long do you let it go before saying mate?
it depends. If there seems to be some progression in trying to get the uke onto their back, I would let it go. But if it's continually unsuccessful, or in this case, after Osaikomi was called, she didn't even try to get the person on their back, I would have called mate. Any comment, Mohammed?
Yes. Thank you for a very good question, because what we need to understand in this technique, we have a gatame and jujime. So as a referee, you need to be locating yourself where the head of the uke is, because although Tori is trying to rotate the body of uke and be in control or be on top of body of uke, a lot of referees, well, a large majority, they keep focusing on, as Jerry just indicated, progression of the Tori trying to get on top, and we focusing on Osaikomi. But we sometimes forget that there's also a jujime is going on there. So a Tori could be choking with a triangle choke, and you can't just let it go because progression is not the way you like, or the Tori is not on top of uke. You should be locating yourself where the head of the uke is and see if there's an indication of very tight choke is going on there. Because while, for example, in this picture, you keep seeing Tori, it keeps moving, and that triangle keeps getting tighter and tighter, and you keep focusing on Osaikomi, and the uke could potentially pass out, and you're missing the ippon for the choke.
Yeah, good point, Mohammed. Thank you. That's a good point. So multiple things, as Mohammed said, multiple things are happening at the same time. It's the referee's responsibility to make sure they're viewing the entire scenario, not just keying on one key point of the osaikomi. Being in the correct position is very important, as I've been told multiple times. So I mean, if you get into the wrong position and are being corrected, we all end up in the wrong position at some time. So any questions on this one? All right. 79. From a different view. Okay, osaikomi or not?
Osakomi, but the airway was blocked. I don't think you're allowed to cover the mouth. Because her leg was basically right across her mouth. Couldn't breathe.
Tap out.
Anyone else?
Really? Okay.
No osaikomi. No.
No
She's
ice.
only on their head. She's sitting on their head. So there is no control on the of the top.
Anybody else?
No, I think it's a good osaikomi.
Right?
Okay, so again, the criteria is control of the core. Blue is, as Anne Laurent, I think it was Anne Laurent that kind of mentioned it, mentioned she's only sitting on the White's head. So there's no real control of the core. There has to be control of at least one arm in here as well, right? So this is the same thing as doing kesagatame, trying to be in a kesagatame position and only having a headlock. That it's basically not osaikomi. You must have control of one arm in the hold as well.
Jerry,
Yeah,
one thing that could help here is, as a referee, you need to look for judo. There's a lot of transformation of the technique from Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu has been come to judo. And as a referee, and this would be a prime example of it, that is a control. Uke is not going anywhere, but do we know any technique in judo that looks like this? There's no technique. As Jerry said, you need to have a controller arm, head, could be two different kind of techniques. Could be kuzuri of something, and but this is not a judo technique. So look for a judo technique, and you will see a lot of that, especially internationally, a lot of transformation of jiu-jitsu technique to judo, and you can be mistaken them with judo technique. Look for judo.
yeah,
But is
good
not
point.
is not the left leg blocking the body and controlling the body?
The left leg, no, it's underneath.
Yeah, so it's
No,
controlling the
not
body.
on, but the blue's core is not on top of White's core.
Can
Pretty
I be a
good.
little just
Pretty
to
good.
answer Jonathan's point of view? Jonathan, if the Tori puts his foot on the chest of the uke and uke cannot move, there is a control, but it's not a judo technique. So the control is important, but the more important thing is you apply a judo technique that shows control of the uke. This is control, 100% you're correct, but there's not a judo technique. As Anne Lauren said, both arms are free. He's just sitting on the guy's face. That's all he's doing. Or the girl, sorry.
Okay. One other thing too, the referee called Ippon, and it was not because of the hold down, because if you look carefully, just before the referee calls Ippon, White taps out with her left hand, right there. Any other questions on this? I picked a lot of confusing ones because it's
Jerry,
yeah.
would it have been appropriate to call mate with the person just sitting for that length of time on, or like Tori on top of Uki's face?
Yes, yeah, because the Tori isn't doing anything and there's no hold down, so there's no action. So I would call mate.
But Graham, the problem is this referee got himself into trouble because he has called osaikomi, so he cannot
Yes.
call him a mate, right? That's the
Right.
problem.
Yes.
Okay, so last one for this series anyway. Okay, osaikomi or not?
I'm saying no, because there was no arm in around the neck. It was just the legs around the neck. There was no arm in there. There's no sankaku.
I agree.
Agree.
Exactly. All right. So again, same as the other scenario. It's almost, you can almost call it dojime on the head, really.
It is a dojima on the head.
Yeah. Well, she's not stretching her legs, but you cannot just apply control to the head. There must be an arm trap in there as well. All right. So if we look at here, look at neither of White's arms are trapped by Blue's legs. So it's just trying to choke the head.
Very dangerous, very
Yeah.
dangerous.
And it hurts too. And it's ineffective. For sankaku to work, you must have an arm in there. All right. We're going to look at some, this is one of the new rules that came out 2 years ago, I think now, leg stretching. Okay, so ippon, no ippon, other. I don't think I have a different view. 60.
No ippon.
Okay, so ippon, no ippon.
No ippon.
No ippon.
Hansokomake,
Yeah.
stretch the leg.
Okay, so in this case, this rule has been came into effect about 2 years ago, Mohammed, I think.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
2 years ago, right? So
Is that advanced down the bottom? of it?
having somebody submit due to pain, due versus choking, a submission, actual submission hold is illegal. So this should be shido immediately. Mate shido. Okay, no ippon. The blue actually tapped out because of pain, not because the choke was effective. So if you look over here, let's see, go back enough. Here, you see White has the leg, Blue's right leg extended and stretched. So that's putting a lot of pressure on the hamstring here. Right, so that's a real dangerous move. It's not hansokomake unless the person is injured and cannot continue.
That's why it's very, very important as soon as you see as a referee that any dangerous move by a tori or uke, immediately call a mate, because you put yourself and the athlete in a very tough situation.
All right, so let's look at this again. So here's okay. So if you look at White's right arm, it's underneath the knee. So between the knee and the upper thigh, if Tori has their hand at that point, in between that area, it's okay because they're not stretching the leg. At this point, White has the right arm on Blue's calf and is now stretching the leg. At that point, the referee should have called mate. Did everybody see it? All right. Okay. Good sankaku. So here too, look what blue's doing to white's leg. He's right. Referee immediately calls mate. Should have called a little bit earlier, in my opinion, but I think there's a better view. Your blue is yanking on white's leg and now is really hyperextending it a lot. All right. So the referee immediately calls mate. Okay, so this one, ippon, mate shido, or other. Yeah, let's see if I can get a better view. I think there's a better view. Okay, this one. Ippon, mate, shido, or something else.
Ippon.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I would say ippon. Looks he's unconscious. And
Yeah, ippon, right? The choke was on. He did not stretch the leg. I think if we go back a bit, let's see. If you look at White's right arm, it's behind the knee. He's not really hyperextending the leg as much as like in the other videos. In the previous view, blue taps out. So he's tapping out because of the choke, not because of pain. All right. Does everybody see that? Any questions? All right. I don't know if there's another view. Oh, here's. Okay, so what's the call? Ippon, wazari, or sorry, ippon, mate, or something else? Okay, I got a couple of mates in the chat. Anyone else? Have one ippon in the chat, have another mate. I wish these polls would work.
Could you run the video again? It's so jerky, I really can't see it.
Video is very choppy, very choppy.
Yeah.
It's fine on my screen. Sorry, guys. You want to see the other view again?
I'm gonna say Mate.
Mate.
Anyone else? This one's a tough one, I thought. I thought I'd throw this one. I saw this one. I thought I'd throw it in. In my opinion, I don't know about Muhammad. In my opinion, I think the referee called Mate a little bit too quick. If you look over, if you go back, here blue realizes he has the leg, but it really hasn't started stretching it yet, right? And then he readjusts his left arm to behind the leg. So realizing that his arm was in the wrong position, blue changed his arm. The referee calls Mate. I don't know, could have been, in my view, just a bit too quick. Mohammed, do you have any comment?
I agree with you 100%. One problem that this referee has where he's standing, he should be on the other side where the ankle of the uke is. If he would have sit there, he would have rotated himself where, but completely the other side. He would have seen that the control of a uke's leg starts with an ankle, and an ankle, there's nothing wrong with it. He's not stretching it. He's just located there. Then he notices, as you indicated, he brings it up to the knee. And when is the knee, when he locates it on the knee area of the uke, he's not stretching it. Uke can easily move his leg and you can see the knees bent. But the referee panics and he calls the mate and it takes a potential choke away from Tori.
Yeah, so you see the referee here, this is a good example of positioning, I think, as Mohammed says. He's in a good side on in this position here. As we play the video, he starts to walk around to see the white's head, and then blue kind of falls over, blocking his view. He has the blue has the elbow around the uke's leg, but then readjusts it immediately to here. But the referee calls Mate, I think, too quickly. Maybe because he was in the wrong position, but maybe he just kind of panicked a little bit too. So. Yeah, I'm sorry for the choppy videos. None of us have, we had the same issue kind of the last time too, and it seems to be a download or an upload problem. I've downloaded these videos to my PC, but I guess it's still pretty choppy, so I apologize for that. 73. Do we need to see the other side? So good roll, and then here. So you look at white's right arm, it's around blue's calf, and now as we continue, look how much she's stretching the leg. White is stretching blue's leg really a lot. Blue is submitting not because of the choke, is because of the pain. Yes, Mate should have been the right call. So same thing here, right? If you look at the blue's leg, oh, that's gotta hurt. So there. Look where white's hand is around blue's calf. So that's stretching it right away. The referee calls Mate right away, before real begin, as opposed to calling ippon. Any questions on leg stretching during shime? Okay. We're going to go to Neroza versus Tachiwaza. This is important because as a referee, you need to understand what is Neroza and what is Tachiwaza. All right, let's look at another view. Okay, so the question is, was white in Neroza? And should the throw have counted? It should have been an ippon or nothing.
No, white was not, and he wasn't.
I want to see it again. I don't have that luxury.
White was on their knees.
Yeah, so in this case, if we go back, okay, then
Getting out.
white, go back a little bit more. Okay, from here, white is on their knee here at this point. But they're still considered in touchy position. Blue is still in touchy position. White is on their knee, but their arms are off the mat. I think in a future session we'll discuss Tachiwaza versus Neroza a bit more. But and then here, white gets up on his own accord. So now he's in Tachiwaza again. And then blue just continues on. Obitori Gayashi. Right? Any questions? All right, let's try this one.
Was there a leg on?
Excuse me?
I thought I saw a leg at the near the end of our rules now, because I need to realize this is an old video.
There's a leg.
Hand touched the leg in there too, or am I wrong?
Maybe.
Oh, there.
I would have
Yeah,
said that was inadvertent.
Yeah, but white touched blue's leg, so it didn't.
White had a grip, Frank.
Yeah, but white grabbed blue's leg and white got thrown. So it doesn't count against blue.
Jerry,
Yeah.
we need a clarification here. Before we watch this video, we need to discuss what is a Tachiwaza, what is a Neroza, because the definition has recently changed and is much more clear. First, as a referee, you need to find who's a tori, who's a uke. A drop soinage, a bad attack, and the tori goes on the ground. Tori is on the ground because of the drop soinage. Immediately tori becomes an uke, and the person who is still standing becomes a tori. Why? Because the white has transitioned to the mat. He or she is on the mat. Now, when is a Tachiwaza? Well, actually it's better to say when is a Neroza. For the white, needs to have both of his elbow and his knees on the mat. If both knees are on the mat and one elbow is on the mat and one arm, because of drop soinage, is still holding on to the old uke, which is a tori now, which is in this case is blue, blue has the right to throw. The only time becomes a Neroza that the person on the top standing cannot apply and be scored a technique if an uke, which was originally tori, landed and he has to have both of his elbow and both of his knee on the mat. So this case, as you saw, white attempted it, white went down, but it's still his kumikata is holding on to blue, but even though he's both knees on the mat. So that allows blue to apply a Tachiwaza technique. Now the discussion here is, if blue is on the top that is in the Tachiwaza, is white allowed to block or grab his leg? No, because the match is still going on in Tachiwaza. So if brushing occurs, it's okay. But as Frank said, if white is holding the leg of blue, it's a shido. But you're not going to stop to give a shido. You are, because you're taking advantage away from blue. So if blue does the technique and let's say score an ippon or a wazari, ippon is finished. If it's a wazari and you stand them up, then you can give the white the shido because grab the leg. But do not stop the match because white grab the leg of blue, because then you're taking advantage of blue. This is a very complicated match to describe, but as the subject is Tachiwaza or Neroza, that's the definition. That's how you know when they are in Tachiwaza or Neroza.
Yeah, I think we'll probably go a little bit deeper into Tachi versus Neroza in a different session. That's almost a session in itself, Mohammed. I think we'll do it in a different session. But here you see white. It looks like his elbow is there. Looks like he's still. Let's see if I can go back a bit more. I think he's still gripping. Yeah, white is still gripping on blue. So same thing here. His right arm is brushing against blue's left leg, but his hand is still holding onto his judogi. You can see it between his legs there. And as we go forward a bit.
Oh, there was a clear portion where white grabbed the legs. You can see it's clear. It's a bit after.
Here? Yeah, even there, he's released his grip.
No, there was another. He was on the other leg.
Keep playing it, keep playing it.
No, he was okay.
That's a throw.
Yeah.
There's no leg grab here.
Yeah, I don't see any leg grab.
As soon as Terry said it, and you played, we could see it.
I don't know. I didn't see any leg grab.
That's okay.
That's okay.
But even if there was a leg grab, it would
Blue
still count
won.
as a pawn or wazari.
Yeah,
for blue.
blue still won. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Where is 31? This one only has one view. So Neroza or Tachiwaza? Should there have been a score for white?
No, Neroza.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
so. So no score. Sorry.
He could have scored Bazari. It was a turnover, and
blue
was not fully in Neroza. Although he landed.
What throw did he do, Frank? There was no throw there, right? It was just a turnover. So if you look at it again, look at it again. Oops, let me go back a bit more. Sorry.
Yeah, because there is, he landed on his leg. Of course, his back didn't touch, so there was no score. No.
Yeah. So no score. That's in Neroza. So it's a good call there.
If I may, to look at it as turnover, technically is a better observation and explanation, because as soon as blue goes down, white is trying to get a Sankaku. And as Jerry said, becomes a turnover. It doesn't matter that the blue's back hit the mat or not. White is in a Tachiwaza. He could have done a Sumigaishi, he could have done a Oranagi, and no problem, and a score if it landed on the back. But right here, the intention of white is trying to transition, which he has the right to do. Tachiwaza or Newaza is white's right to do whatever he wants, and he can do whatever he wants. He's trying to do a Sankaku. That's what you as a referee need to pay attention. What was the intention of white from going from the standing to Newaza? Was it the actually Tachiwaza technique, or was it actually a rollover? And that's a better explanation as a rollover.
Yeah, so as the white has in this position, white has the decision to continue into Tachiwaza or Newaza. Once they commit to one or the other, then that's what you need to evaluate it on. In this case, as Mohammed points out, white immediately goes into Newaza, tries to do either Sankaku or grab the arm. It's obviously not a Tachiwaza, so you must allow it to continue as Newaza. All right, so let's watch it again. So blue goes down, white turns over. Right. Okay, so I hope nobody's going to question this one. Newaza or Tachiwaza?
Newaza turnover.
Okay, so this was one that Mohammed kind of made a comment on earlier, I think on the first one. So as the fight contest continues, blue drops down to his hands and knees. All right, so blue has transitioned into Newaza. Right, blue has also is transitioning into Newaza. The referee at this time allowed the fight to continue, but blue should be penalized as well for false attack or for dropping to his knees or defensive, right? Because he did not, blue did nothing, or white did nothing to cause blue to go down on his knees. Everybody see that? Blue just drops for no particular reason. Right, so the contest continues. If there's an ippon, or if there's a hold down or whatever, just let it continue. You can always give the shido after the fact. Any other comment, Mohammed?
Nope. Thank you.
So again, blue drops to his knees. Newaza. Turn over. They're into Newaza.
Sorry, Jerry, just a quick question. And for Mohammed, in cases like the previous example where there was a leg grab and it had already been won in Newaza, and here you penalize after, so that you wouldn't give blue an advantage.
You mean, yes, that's correct. But he didn't stop the fight here. He didn't stop the contest. The referee allowed the contest to continue. We don't know whether he gave a penalty afterwards.
Okay.
But I would give a penalty to blue.
Okay. But yeah, as long as white has the advantage and then give the penalty afterwards, no stoppage.
Correct. If blue dropped down and white did nothing to continue into Newaza, what would you have done?
Penalized blue.
Called mate, penalized blue, correct. Right. So, but white is attacking. You don't want to take the advantage away from white. So you allow the contest to continue. And you can always call the shido afterwards at a more appropriate time.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so should that have been a score? Or were they still in Neroza? Look at a different position. Any comments? Again. Okay, so over here we see white getting up, right? Actually, both of the blue is only on one knee. But what is the intention of white? White's intention is not to score via Tachiwaza. Right? They're obviously continuing on in Neroza. First of all, because they have an arm lock here, you can't throw with an arm lock. Right? So the white and blue are still in Neroza. So you would not score that turnover. And the referee correctly allows it to continue. Does everybody see that? Any questions?
Just one, Gary, at what point would you call it a transition back into Tachiwaza? Do both competitors have to have both feet back on, like be back on the soles of their feet?
Let's see. Yeah, I don't have a video of that. It's very subjective, right? So white needs to, okay, for the sake of argument, white needs to be standing, right? Blue has to be, for it to be Neroza, blue has to be on their hands, on their elbows and knees. If they're on their hands and knees, then they're considered Tachiwaza.
Okay.
And white can attack in Tachiwaza. But you have to also look at, as Mohammed says, look at the intent of white. If they're going to attack in some sort of Tachiwaza, or are they continuing on in Neroza? So it's very subjective in that manner, right? Yeah, you have to be able to.
Jerry,
this is why for referees it's really important to understand how judo operates. Yeah, somebody had a question.
yeah, Gavin Blake.
Yeah.
If both players are definitely in Neroza beyond all doubt, you then can't stand up and go back into Tachiwaza without mate being called, can you?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Yeah. If one of them decides, if they're both in Neroza and one of them decides to stand up, that person standing up is in Tachiwaza, but if the other person remains on their elbows and knees, they're still in Neroza. You cannot throw them from there.
But if they both stand up, without any...
If they both stand up, yeah, you could throw them.
Okay.
Just one quick question. If you roll back just a few seconds, you see that White tried to hesitate on touching the leg. And you see that she wants to, she wants to throw, and she wants not to throw, she wants to transition. And if you let it go, she is almost taking the leg, and she hesitates to take the leg because at that point they are both on their feet. So is it the reason why because she could be penalized?
No, you have to kind of, again, as Mohammed has said, you have to kind of look at the intent of White.
Yeah.
White's intent was not to do any kind of tachiwaza. Right. Her intent was always totally to try to roll Blue over.
I know, but she's about to take the leg, and then you see that she thinks about it, and then she said no, she gave up, and she tried to turn over without the legs. No, if you anyway.
I don't know. She gets up and throw it.
Yeah, here, you see it. She said okay.
But I mean, she's grabbing the leg, but that's
she hesitates. It looks like she hesitates. That's why I was wondering if she.
Well, you don't know. I mean, you can't really.
No, yeah.
You know, kind of hard to say what she's going to do. But I mean, if she's in Tachiwaza, if they're both in Tachiwaza, she's grabbing the leg. That's Shido.
I know. That's why.
Right. So White wants to continue on in Neroza. You have to assume White wants to continue in Neroza. It's very subjective for the referee, for any referee, to determine what's in the mindset of the contestants.
Terry, if I may.
Yeah.
Our conversations, it's very much surrounds for referee point of view, but I know there are a number of dojo shoes and coaches are at this seminar, especially Gavin had a very good question here. I'd like to elaborate on it, and also Ann Lawrence. These two both fighters, White and Blue, they were in a complete Neroza. And Abe was trying to actually lap the arm, which she always does, and grab the pants and roll to the side and come on the top osaikomi. But Blue knows what Abe does, so she moves and she's trying to wiggle out of it, and they ended up having the position right now. Now, as Lawrence said, Abe attempted to grab the leg because they're both in Neroza and there would have been no problem at all. But suddenly, if you roll the video, Blue gets his knee or her knee off the mat. If you roll the video, Blue gets up. White doesn't lift him up. Blue gets up on his knee because she knows their arm is trapped. Now, if Abe, can you hold on right there? Can you hold on right there? Now, for the coach's point of view, what you need to tell your athlete is Abe attempts was in Neroza and was very clear attempt to roll. Now, because the Blue got up, now they're both in a Tachiwaza stand. If Abe would have left her right arm go and put that right arm on the back of the Blue, and we do a somigaishi, the referee would have called an ippon. But because the Abe continued with the attempt to the arm, was basically a continuation of Neroza, because that's where her intention was. So referee couldn't give her benefit of the doubt. But the Blue got up on his own, and they're both right now, they're in Tachiwaza. But Abe, all she had to do was grab that arm, right arm, and locate in the back of the Uke Blue. And the somigaishi that she continues, if you continue the video, she does the leg, perfect somigaishi, but again, the arm was not, this is not a Tachiwaza technique. She just basically transitioned. All she had to do, move her arm and score an ippon right there. So it's not a referee's fault, but we need as a referee to look at the transition. Where did Abe start? Where did they end up? But that could have been easily an ippon throw if Abe would have let that arm go.
It could have been, but then the intent, in I don't know, in my view, the intent was totally just to turn her over, not to do Neroza, not to do a Tachiwaza.
Absolutely, but again, as I said, for the coaches here, need to know that the knowing the rules here could have helped Abe, but it didn't. Yeah. So Tachiwaza, that was a Tachiwaza at that moment.
Yeah, it's not Abe, Mohammed. It's not Abe. It's Tamaoki.
Oh, is it Tamaoki? Oh, yeah, you're right. Tamaoki. Yeah, you're right.
It's on the
Thank you.
scoreboard. It's okay.
Yeah,
It sounded good though.
yeah, it's 57. You're right. But Abe does exact same thing. I thought was there.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, this one is actually a good example, I think.
Yep.
Okay. Let's see if I can, the other side, see if the other side is better. So Neroza, Tachiwaza.
Nope.
Neroza.
That was it.
Should white score?
Neroza.
Nope.
No.
I think
No
blue had
score.
both elbows at both knees on the mat.
Okay, so if we go back, I think everybody's got this one, right? So blue goes down, obviously goes into Neroza position, right? So blue is in a Neroza position, and then white actually yanks them up off the floor to try to get him into Tachiwaza position, which they are not allowed to do. Blue, if blue goes into Tachiwaza position on their own, then white can throw. See there, right? So blue is definitely in Neroza position. So white needs to continue either Neroza or just let him go, but you can't really pick him up. See, he yanks him up and then tries to throw. So it's a good turnover, but no score. You see, look, if you look at the other view, watch the coach. No, wrong one. Sorry. Yeah, coach there is signaling white Shigeru Wazari. So this is the importance of understanding, even for coaches, understanding what Neroza is and what Tachiwaza is. All right, I'm going to skip the last one. Okay, this one, not going to have any discussion, but I just want to show you Neroza going out. 66. So this is, there are Neroza. And to avoid, blue backs out. Is this a valid move by blue?
Yes.
Any other comments?
Judo.
In my view, Shido blue. This is no
Yes.
different than blue in both of them in Tachiwaza, and blue running out of the contest area to avoid fighting. If they happen to roll out, it's fine. But to purposely go out, I would call this Shido. Any comments, Mohammed? Do you agree?
100%. You cannot leave the contest area for any reason intentionally.
So I just wanted to show that one just to make you guys aware. What's this one? Oh yeah, so just a comment. Article 18 under Shido, line 29, Shimewaza and Kansatsuwaza are only permitted in Neroza. So you can no longer do standing arm bars or standing choke. You must be in a Neroza position. And this is for safety reasons. Too many people were getting their arm injured with regards to being forced down into the mat and be with an arm lock. This video one concept from Tachi. Well, this is not any professional or big fight, but this is old video from how long ago? I have no idea. So flying arm bar. And you see the heavier guy is injured due to the arm lock. This is why it was it's now prohibited. The other thing we needed to take be careful of we'll take a look at it again. Okay, again, white tries to do an arm lock to bring down, I'm sorry, blue tries to do an arm lock to bring down white. Skip over 20. This one is a good example. Okay, so in this example, blue skillfully takes white down into Neroza position and then applies arm lock. One more. So again, so both of them are still in Tachiwaza when white goes out and tries to do Jujigatame here. Steps over. All right. Referee immediately calls mate. And last video. Sorry. Gonna end soon. Don't worry. This is from a number of years ago. It's called the Gerby choke. Let's see if I can. In slow motion. Okay, anybody want to take a shot at why this should be illegal? Or why this is no longer allowed?
Using your own gi to cause a choke.
There are a number of items with regards to why this is illegal.
I think you can break the neck. There's a lot of pressure on the neck.
Her judo, Gerby's judo gi is around, is in front, but and her leg is behind. So, I mean, this is no, in my view, no different than okurieri or katahajime. So there's really no pressure on the neck in the sense that's going to injure the spine, in my view.
Jerry, I don't think that was the opinion of the people that banned it. There apparently was a danger of injury to the spine, to the neck, and this is why it was eventually banned.
This was actually banned because of number of things, Frank. First of all, Article 18, numbered under the Shido criteria, number 19, intentionally disarranging judogi, either yours or your opponent's. So in this case, if you look, Gerby pulls out her judogi.
Yes.
So that's disarranging your own judogi. All right. Then she wraps it around the blue's neck. All right. Number 24 says, apply shimewaza either using your own or your opponent's belt or bottom of the jacket, or using one's using only your fingers. Right. So she's using the bottom of her jacket to apply choke to blue, to Abe. That's Abe, Mohammed. Right. Those are the two criteria that makes this illegal. Right. Disarranging your own judogi, even if it's to apply a technique, and then choking your opponent with the bottom of your own judogi. Those are the two major reasons why this was deemed to be illegal. Any comment, Mohammed? I think he's already got. Okay, so that was the last video. I'll kind of cut them out. Anybody have any comments or concerns?
Did you hear my comment?
No, we didn't.
I said you're 100% correct. The only reason they banned that because of using your own gi to choke. You can use your own gi to do the osaiwaza, but you cannot use it for choke.
Yeah. Okay. So if there's no other questions or comments, just to let you know, the next seminar is going to be Sunday, June 6th. And the agenda will be for the U10, U12, U16 rules. So that's these our favorite matrix that we use. The rules are a little bit different. And Chris Brown will be presenting that seminar. So I didn't put the time. The time will be the same time. So 7 o'clock, Sunday, June 6th. So if there are no other comments or concerns, I think that's pretty much the end of the seminar. Any questions, comments, concerns?
Jerry?
Yes,
I think
sir.
at the very beginning, when we were talking about fair play, I believe Jonathan asked, what is fair play, or explain fair play? And you never did give him.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, for some reason I couldn't see any of the chats. So fair play is an opportunity for kids U10, U12 to continue to compete, not based on score, but based on time. So in other words, if I think a lot of the parents' comments were, I waited 2 hours to register my kid. The kid gets on, he gets thrown for ippon after 10 seconds, and then that's it. So the fair play kind of extends that opportunity for the contestants to continue to fight, the U10, U12s to continue to fight. So it's based on I think 30 point differential. So whoever reaches the 30-point differential first wins the match, or 2 minutes. 2 minutes of continuous time. Does that explain it, Jonathan? Just nod your head. Yeah, okay, he's got it. Any other questions that I might have missed during the beginning? All right, I think that's it then. Thank you very much, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the seminar. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. Good night.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Take care.
Thanks.